everyone. Jim Ake here, President of the Board of Public Works, and I'd like to call our meeting to order. It's our regular meeting, November 15th, 2023. And will the clerk please note the quorum, call the roll and note the presence of a quorum.
Larry Carino.
Here.
Jim Ake.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
And concerning the agenda, I would ask that the board amend the agenda to add one item, which is a lease agreement that involves property between the City of Westfield and Carpenter Realty. So I'd ask for a motion.
So moved.
I'll second. All those in favor of adding this item to the agenda at our discretion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. So we will be adding that item to the beginning of our meeting. The other change to the agenda is action item number 5 is tabled, and we'll move that to the next meeting. So at this time, I'd like to discuss the minutes, and they're up for consideration for approval. Are there any changes or recommendations?
I make a motion we approve the minutes from the October 25th meeting.
I'll second that. All those in favor of approving the minutes as stated from that meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And the minutes are approved. And we'll go into action item number 2 on the agenda, the City of Westfield, regarding the 2024 Personnel Policy Procedures and Benefits Manual, which is posted online, and we'll highlight the changes. As Brady, good afternoon.
Hit this. There we go. Perfect. Brady Laux, Director of HR for the City of Westfield, for the record. Personnel Policies and Procedures, Benefits Manual, this is really just an annual thing that we do, of course, if we have updates. For 24, we don't have a lot of updates, but I will at least go over the summary just in case if you have any questions. You'll see in Section 2.03, we are adding the Pregnancy Workers Fairness Act. This is a federal law that took place June 27th of 23, so really just adding that for compliance purposes. It's a law that requires covered employers to provide reasonable accommodations to workers' limitations related to pregnancy, childbirth, or related medical conditions. It also prohibits workplace and hiring discrimination related to pregnancy, such things. Along with that, in Section 5.04, you'll see the Pump Act kind of goes line in line. This is something that the FLSA is kind of ruling out with that. It came into effect in April of last year as well, and really it's just allowing reasonable break time for employees to express milk for nursing for up to 1 year after a child's birth. So once again, 2 compliance things related to pregnancy. The next one is going to be found in Section 8 regarding the 77 Fund retirement. The contribution rate has been 18%, and that's been dictated by PERF. However, it is going to be going up to 19.1%. This was voted by the board on October 28th of 22 for the 24 rates. So that's nothing that shouldn't be a surprise. However, the police department specifically, effective January 1st, 24, will contribute an additional 1% from the city. So for a first-class patrolman, for those that are eligible, currently police officers, they do a 6% payroll deduction. That will go down to 5% because the city will put in 1% for that. Really, the reason for this is we know law enforcement, it's been hard to attract and retain talent just due to the world we live in today. And so it's kind of a push and an effort towards retaining and attracting talent. So with that, the last update, major update, is the vehicle driver policy and fringe benefits policy found in Section 12. This is really just outlining general guidelines as far as driver selection, MVR criteria, and then general vehicle guidelines. So we have something in policy that we're able to be accountable towards for those that drive. Along with that is establishing tax compliance things per the IRS, which you'll see in the fringe benefits policy section. That is something I'm working with the clerk treasurer's office with currently to figure out exactly how that would pertain to those that do have take-home vehicles, for personal use, things like that. So we are still kind of working on that behind the scenes, but this is the correct policy to have in place moving forward with that. It will exclude public safety. That's an exclusion that IRS makes for those that drive fleet for public safety. This would strictly be for civilian staff. So with that, those are the summaries for the 2024 policy manual.
Okay. Well, thank you for that summary. Do you have any questions, Larry?
A couple real quick ones. How do we distribute? Is this actually printed as hard copy every year?
So we do distribute via email, and everyone does have to sign off on that for the next year. It's also found out on our intranet site, so anybody that has...
It's all electronic?
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you guys did a great job. You and whoever at legal went through this, having actually read the whole thing. It's interesting reading, and I'm sure it's one of those tasks that you look forward to every year to go through. And
fun.
thank you very much for your efforts.
Yes. Thank you.
I would agree with that. I think there's a video we have to present.
Correct.
Jonathan Nail, you're gonna put
I will,
that up for
I will
us.
play that right now.
And it's from Marla Ayler.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry I couldn't be there today at the Board of Public Works. I had a previous commitment, but thought this would be an easier way than writing out what I wanted to say and have Kim repeat it. I support the policy that we have written. Brady and I feel like did that together in a nice collaborative way. And so I'm encouraging you or asking that you consider it and pass it. What I will say is we have not determined one of the 4 ways in order to calculate that fringe benefit of having a company car. It's something that I think we continue to need to talk about, not only as an organization, but also with those people who it's going to affect most, the employees who have the cars, in addition to Travis, the fleet manager, and Bev and payroll, because it's all going to have an effect. So, but we do need to have the policy in place, and we need to get something passed before January 1st so that everyone understands the ramifications of what the fringe benefit will do toward their personal income, if there is any ramification. So thank you for your time, and I look forward to us getting to the bottom of all these questions, but would ask that you go ahead and, like I said, pass the policy, and we'll get it into the personnel handbook, and then have some bigger conversations with others. So thanks for your time. Have a great day.
All right, very good. And that's what you were alluding to, Brady, in your presentation. So that's a quick summary of that. Okay, any further questions or comments? I make a motion to approve action item number 2, City of Westfield 2024 Personnel Policy Procedures and Benefits Manual, as stated today. Go ahead.
I'll second the motion.
I have a second by Larry Clarino. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The action item number 2 is passed. Thank you very much for your hard work, Brady, in bringing this to us. Action item number 3, Hamilton County. Oh, wait a minute. I want to back up. We need to go back to what we amended into the item we added to the agenda. So let's deal with that now.
You could make that action item 6 as well if you wanted to.
Okay, all right.
It's up to you.
We'll make it action item number 6 then. Very good. Just didn't want to leave that out. All right, now, action item number 3 is Hamilton County, Indiana and City of Westfield Funding Agreement, Community Development Block Grant for Blackburn Road Sidewalk Installation. Michael.
Yep, so Michael Pierce, city engineer for the record. So what's before you is a funding agreement between the city of Westfield and Hamilton County, specifically the Noblesville Housing Authority. They're the agency which distributes the community development block grant money to the cities within Hamilton County. So each year there's a number of dollars that are allocated to Westfield to do. You can use it a variety of ways. What we have historically used these for is infrastructure improvements, and they must be done in areas of a high percentage of low or moderate income areas. So most recently we did the Sun Park sidewalk project along Sun Park Drive. That was done in about 2020, I believe. So we extended sidewalk all the way from Tournament Trail up to 181st Street. That was done with CDBG money back in 2020. So this year we applied for CDBG monies. We were awarded a grant to build sidewalk along the north side of Blackburn Road, basically from the cul-de-sac all the way up to Tomlinson Road, which will be used by presumably residents of the trailer facility there to get over to the Monon and to other locations they may be walking in that area. So this agreement is for us to receive the $172,000, which is our estimated construction cost to build that section of sidewalk. So we're just asking for approval to sign off on it's just a standard funding agreement with Hamilton County.
I think that's for the safety, and I know a lot of kids walk to school, et cetera. I think it'll be well used, and I think it's a good investment for the city, particularly since we got the grant. And I think that'll enhance that area, and the residents should be very pleased with that enhancement. Any discussion? I'll make a motion to approve Hamilton County, Indiana, and City of Westfield funding agreement for through the block grant for Blackburn Road sidewalk.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor of approving action items number 3 as stated, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Action item number 4, A&F Engineering and City of Westfield 161st Street and Spring Mill Road Roundabout. Supplemental agreement.
Yeah, so as you may recall, we 4 or 5 years ago were working on roundabout design for 161st and Spring Mill. Currently, it's a signalized intersection. Due to some funding strategy changes back 3-4 years ago, we decided to press pause on that project until some additional funding could become available for the project. We also still needed to acquire right-of-way from these 2 parcels on the northwest corner. We've since identified funding for this project. I think it's the right time to move forward with construction. I had conversations with Mayor-elect Willis as well. He's very eager to get this project constructed as well. As a result, where we had left off, we had about 95% plans completed for this project. Since then, the depot at Spring Mill Station has been completed. Well, I should say significant portions of it have been completed and grading has been done on the southwest corner. That was not captured with the topographic survey from the original design work. So before you is a supplemental agreement. A&F Engineering was the original engineering firm designing the roundabout. It is to pick up additional survey to capture some of the grading changes as well as any new utilities in the area and to finalize the design as well as finalize utility relocation work. The total cost of the supplemental is $84,270. We've reviewed this. We feel it's well in line with what we'd expect given the scope of work still necessary to finalize design, get utilities moving towards relocation, and importantly, some of the grading work on that southwest corner changes some of the earthwork calculations. We want to make sure that we get those corrected so that we don't have any change orders in the project from the contractor itself. So with that, I'd ask that you approve the supplemental, but I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have in the meantime.
I know it's much needed. The traffic isn't getting any less over there in that corridor. And I know the residents are looking forward to seeing that sooner than later, so I don't have any questions. So Larry, do you?
Are you comfortable with the 23,400 jump in utility?
I am. The reason behind that is twofold, really. The first, we did substantial utility coordination, some of which is still usable work for the project moving forward. However, with some additional development in the area, new utilities have come into the construction limits. We want to make sure we identify those and quickly coordinate with those utilities to ensure that they have not been located in conflict. We do a really good job from a public works perspective, Adam Essex, our utility coordinator, does a fantastic job for us making sure that these new facilities are going in out of conflict. I don't anticipate them being in conflict, but it's really, really important, especially given the proximity of this project to the school to the west, as well as the importance of this intersection in our network, that we don't have any surprises during construction. So I am comfortable with it. There's a lot of work that goes into utility coordination that is not glamorous, but it is time consuming. So I think it is a fair number in this supplemental.
You don't expect it to go above that much, do you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. The only thing I'll add to, just for your information, we also have designed a trail project over the John Edwards Ditch, which we will very likely bundle into the construction contract of the roundabout. You'll notice that we have a trail gap here at the gas station just to the west of the Kroger and the shopping center here. There's a trail that stops that was not constructed with the townhomes of Countryside, presumably because of the physical barrier of this John Edwards ditch. We've since designed a pedestrian bridge over that ditch, done all the proper permitting and coordination. And again, those plans are 95% and ready to, or very close to being ready to be bid. So there may be some cost efficiencies there, bundling those two projects together, knocking them both out at the same time, and getting a nice, a little more connectivity.
Sounds really good.
Yeah, that's much needed too, so I'm glad that's under consideration. Does this new substation at 151st affect the work and study at 161st?
No, not to my knowledge. I can't imagine that it would.
Okay, all right, very good. No further questions, I entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion that we approve action item number 4, design services supplemental.
I'll second that. All those in favor of approving action item number 4, supplemental agreement between the City of Westfield and A&F Engineering, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Action item number 5 we're down to, and that is tabled to our next meeting. And so the next action item will be action item number 6, which we just added to the agenda, concerning the City of Westfield and Carpenter Realty and leases and other things in preparation for the New Jersey extension. Yeah,
that's right. So before you, we have a hard copy of the lease as well that we'll ask you to sign once it's approved. But to give a little background of this item, this on the east side of Cherry Street is 140 South Cherry, is the Carpenter Realty office there. Unfortunately, that parcel is in the alignment of the Jersey Street extension, and as a result, we needed to do right-of-way acquisition in order to construct the Jersey Street extension. We followed the Uniform Act as far as right-of-way acquisition goes, following all the necessary procedures. We did an appraisal of the parcel and then entered into negotiations with the property owner to acquire that right-of-way. In those negotiations, we very quickly agreed on a price based on appraisals. Carpenter did their own appraisal as well and agreed with our number. Their big issue was they wanted to make sure they had as much time as possible in this office prior to demolition to look for other buildings that they could move their business to. We were happy to accommodate them in that regard. And their big item was they were hopeful to stay in until May 1st of 2024. That did not impact our timeline of the project because we still have some utility relocation work to do as well. And so we were able to reach this lease agreement, formalizing that we will close on the purchase of the property very quickly, likely in the next couple of weeks, and make payment for the property, but at the same time enter into this lease to allow them to continue to operate until May 1st of 2024. Importantly as well, there's the option in that lease to extend that lease a month at a time if utility relocations go slower. So I had told Carpenter that if we can afford them additional time to stay in that building as they continue to look, we'd be happy to do so. So those are the terms of the lease, and be happy to answer any questions that you may have on it.
Do they, if they extend on month to month, are they paying us back money for that
It's,
period of
no,
time is there?
the way we agreed to it, the lease is just $1 a month essentially.
Okay,
So
very
we're,
good.
we're allowing them to stay in there.
Okay.
It would be at our discretion if they do stay month to month. So we make the decision of whether to extend it to June 1st of 2024 and so forth.
Yeah, I just wanted to get that on the record. Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll communicate with them as the utility relocation work proceeds so that they're aware of whether they'll be able to extend it or not.
Okay, very good. Any further questions?
Yep, sounds good to me.
I'd entertain a motion.
I will make the motion that we approve action item number 6, the lease agreement with Carpenter Realty.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We move on into the consent agenda. Approval of Public Board Works meeting schedule for next year is included in this. And then we've got bond information, which we've reviewed. Any questions? I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as stated.
So moved.
I'll second. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Consent agenda stands approved. Thank you. Now we move on into the last part of our meeting, and that's the department reports. Fire, Chief Gaylor.
Good afternoon, Rob Gaylor, Westfield Fire Department. Monthly report for October. October was a busy month for us. We had the move to our new location took place at the very end of the month and the beginning of November, and then we also added our third transporting ambulance to the service, and a lot of moving parts and pieces in the month of October. Pretty typical when it comes to the call volume and the run load. We were in 2022, we did 416 runs, and in 2023, we did 413 runs. We're still running right at a little above where we were last year at the same time frame. Adding the third medic unit in, they've taken over 77 calls already and have been in for just a month now. So that equates to 2 a day, which is about what we had expected, maybe a little more than that. So we're gonna give a little bit of time and look at some more numbers as the data comes in, but it was the right move. For October of 2023, we averaged almost 14 calls a day. The average turnout time was still under 2 minutes, right at 1 minute and 19 seconds. And we had a total of 883 apparatus responses. Outside of that, there's nothing really too crazy or out of the norm, if you will, as you go through and look at the numbers. But we'd be happy to answer any questions if you folks have any.
Just that the heads on your slides have February 23 up there.
Yeah.
That's
Well, this is the October report, not the February report.
Right. I thought that would be, that was a, man.
Yep.
All right. And you're all moved in.
We are all moved in. As a matter of fact, I was talking with Chief Rush. Couple little things over at the other station we're going to get moved around and cleaned up, so his team can move in. I think they're eager and ready to do so.
I'm sure they are. Well, thank you for the
Very good.
report.
Thank you much.
All right. Next up is our police chief, Joel. Good afternoon, sir.
Thought I left it on, sorry. We got some cleaning to do, we got some,
You mean the fire department didn't leave it spick and span?
you know, I think it's like, we've all moved, right? And, no matter what you do, when you move, you still
Broom
have,
clean, I think
you
is
still
the
have to
term.
clean it and get your own scent in it, so. Anyway, We're gonna do some light, a lot of things haven't been done over there for 26 years, so we're gonna do some light painting, spend very, very, very little money, because we're only gonna occupy the space probably for at most 2 years, so. We don't wanna spend a lot of money on it, but we do wanna kinda give it a little facelift, so to speak. And we'll move some of our team over there, occupy some of the vacated space, but not all of it. We're gonna leave upstairs alone, the day room, the rooms where, you know, the kitchen, things like that. There's really no need for us to occupy those spaces. So we'll leave those alone in case Rob might need those in the future. But we are still excited to kind of spread our wings a little bit, and we have people in interview rooms as offices, and we have probably, there's a couple offices that have like 6 people in them, so we're trying to spread our wings. It'll be nice. Couple other items. We had a ceremonial swearing in for our 3 new people last week. The most recent is Casey Tifo. She came to us from Ohio, and she along with Nick Miller and Brad Robbins are in FTO now. Nick will start the academy in January. Brad will probably be a solo car by then because he came from Tipton. He's already been to the academy. She is on a different track because she went to the academy in Ohio, so she'll have to, there's certain things she'll have to go back to Indiana Academy for to get certified. But it's great having the new team members. We did have a resignation last week. Winyu Sharif did resign from our agency at the beginning of the month, so we'll be able to hire his replacement hopefully within the next month or so. Couple of good news items. We are going to appoint our 6th SRO, school resource officer. We're giving Angie Martin the opportunity. She'll serve in one of the elementary schools. So we'll have 6 out of the 10 schools covered. I know Mayor-elect Willis, one of his main priorities are to put an SRO in every school. So we'll be pretty aggressive with that, trying to accomplish that within the next 3 to 4 years. We also reformed our traffic unit with 2 officers. Marcus Harris and Derek Baldridge will take over those spots. And really, it's really to supplement what the road is doing already. You think about it, it's probably our most generated complaint is traffic-related issues, which shows what kind of city we are. But we do get a lot of traffic complaints, especially in the neighborhoods, and this is a way that we can target those specifically and keep track of them. And we're looking forward to being able to get 2 people to just focus on nothing but that. So other than that, the report was submitted, and if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
No, I think the new space will be welcome for you. I know a lot of your offices were the evidence room and other things. You're just on top of each other.
Yeah.
And so I think that'll really boost morale, I would hope, as well, and other things. But you do such an outstanding job. So
Thank you.
we appreciate it. Okay. Thank you, Joel. Public Works?
Yeah, so it's hard to believe it's November with the weather we're having, but that's great for construction. I did want to share with the board a picture I had received the aerial photo last week, but it was taken from a few weeks ago at 161 in Oak. Kind of gives you an idea of the roundabout, the location and orientation of the roundabout, but kind of gives you a sense as well of the pipeline replacement that I've been talking to you about and the size and scale of that excavation work to replace that pipeline. So that was just kind of a cool aerial that I had received from our folks out on site and wanted to share that. We're still, same schedule that I had shared last time, on track for opening the roundabout November 29th. We'll be doing paving early next week prior to the Thanksgiving holiday. And then coming back from that holiday, final striping and those types of items before we can open up the roundabout to traffic. So obviously very excited to get that opened up. EMB, our contractor, has been very great, very good to work with, working around the pipeline company as they replace their pipeline facilities. I can't say enough good things about their efforts on this project. Additionally, State Road 32, we did meet and actually are contracting with the building mover that are moving the 102 South Union building east. Look for that. It may happen as sometime early to mid-December, potentially. It depends a little bit on how quickly NDOT's demolition contractor can finalize some demo work between Jan's Pizza and the building itself. But that's kind of the schedule we're penciling in on that. I'll make sure you all are aware of that because it's going to be something that'll be very interesting to see. And then as a reminder, that'll allow us to get utilities underground and then move that building north to the final resting place there, just south of the Playhouse, immediately to our west. A big shout out to Michael Pierce and his team. We were awarded Community Crossings money for 2024 in the amount of $1 million, which is the max that NDOT is able to distribute to each local municipality. So another $1 million win for Michael and his team on Community Crossings. That'll go towards additional resurfacing for us next year. So we're very excited about that. I want to acknowledge his efforts and his team's efforts on that pursuit. And then lastly, very excited, the ice ribbon in Grand Junction Plaza is installed.
19th, right?
That's right. So we have a employee sneak peek tonight, and we have kind of a soft opening tomorrow for some folks in the community, and then it'll open up Friday. So we are very, very excited about that. I think it turned out really well. I can't say enough positive things about Chris McConnell and his team who did the installation. We did have a representative from Gleiss, the manufacturer, that oversaw the installation, kind of taught everyone how to install it. I think, just to reiterate, very happy about that decision to go with a synthetic rink. We will be skating when other communities will not because of some of the warmer weather we're having right now. And not to mention the tremendous cost savings and even the environmental positives that the synthetic ice rink affords us. I think it's going to be a really good decision for the city of Westfield, and I'm excited about it. So just want to acknowledge that team that put that together, and then Kayla Arnold and her team who will run and staff it. So by all means, get out there, skate around, and hope to see you out there.
All right. Well, that's good news indeed. It's a welcome amenity into this community. And my question is, I forget what the answer is, but can you bring your own skates, or do they have to be specific for that type of surface?
Any skates are fine to skate on it. You can treat it just like a traditional ice rink would. We will obviously have skates for rental, and we expect the majority of folks will be renting skates from us.
I would think so.
Yep.
What are the fees? Have you've got those established, do you recall?
I will get those to you. I don't remember what they are
That's
off the top of my head. Maybe Jeremy does, but if not, fees for the skates rental. I'll get
That's
them to you.
okay.
I don't
That's
remember off the top of
okay.
my head.
It's
Yep.
all over the press, I'm sure.
Yep.
And we're excited about having that, and bringing people downtown, and really taking advantage of that far and wide. So
Absolutely.
it's great news. Well, thank you.
Jonathan, on the roundabout, is the pipeline, are they going to be doing replacement work where it crosses Oak on the north side, which is tar left?
It's completed at this point.
It's
They've
already done?
had. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just not shown in this aerial photo. Yeah.
So they're not going to keep trenching through then? Okay, good.
No, that part was already done. The timing of the aerial photo is just on this west leg at this point. So.
Well, we kind of like Oak Street being very quiet now, so I mean, you know, it's okay with us to leave it, so.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Well, I'd be remiss in not recognizing Michael on behalf of the board for his fine work in securing those funds, and you've done an outstanding job, Michael, and I and the board and other people in the city are very appreciative. And so I see a hand from Jeremy. Did you have? Okay. You're supposed to take those outside, sir. But in this case, we'll just give you a warning from the bench. All right. That concludes our business. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second. All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone.